How's it going, Starseekers? My name's Gotcake, and in this review we're going to be taking a look at Ubermosh Black, a fast-paced arcade twin-stick shooter brawler where the challenge is to survive for 90 seconds as an onslaught of enemies is thrown at you. Now, if you're not familiar with the Ubermosh series of games, they were created by Walter Machado and have a sort of cult following. Ubermosh Black is actually the second in the series, and I also reviewed Ubermosh Omega, which released on the Switch several months ago. So as we hit the main menu, we get Machado's instantly recognisable style of gritty visuals, and music which is hard to place as a genre but falls somewhere between thrash metal, rock and roll and electronica. Here we see an image of a reoccurring character in the Ubermosh series known as the Blade Saint, and we have a list of badges down the centre which can be thought of as the game's achievement, and the majority of these involve you reaching certain scores with different character mods. Speaking of character mods, on the right we can see a wheel which we can rotate with the L button, allowing us to select a character mod. Each of these changes gameplay in various ways which I'll cover shortly, but first let's jump into the game's tutorial by hitting A. Now, the tutorial isn't much of a tutorial at all, and it's basically an easier version of the main game, so I'll quickly cover the basics. We move our character with the left thumbstick, aim with the right thumbstick, and can swing our sword by pressing ZL. And the sword can be used both to kill enemies and deflect their own bullets back at them. The tutorial also provides us with 3 guns to select from, with each gun having a different projectile pattern, and weapons are semi-automatic, requiring us to hit ZR each time we want to fire. In the real game we don't get to begin with a gun and instead must pick one up from a fallen enemy, and we can switch between guns by walking over a different gun. So in the top left we can see a 90-second timer which counts down. Below this is a number displaying how many kills we've obtained, and below that is our number of lives shown as pink triangles. If we have a class mod, it's also detailed here. So now let's jump into a proper game where the aim is to survive for 90 seconds, which is much easier said than done. Enemies spawn slowly at first but quickly become overwhelming, coming at you from all angles. Smaller enemies are armed with standard guns, whilst the larger ones use more powerful guns. And arenas are littered with randomly placed walls which can be used to block enemy projectiles. Each time you take a hit from an enemy, you'll lose a life, and losing all of your lives will end the game, sending you back to the main menu where your best score and rank will be displayed. The 2 other reasons by which a game will end is firstly if you step outside the arena's boundaries, and secondly by surviving the whole 90 seconds, which will see you successfully extracted. So gameplay is incredibly fast and frantic, and requires lightning fast reflexes to survive for the whole 90 seconds. Your selected character mod changes your starting loadout, number of lives and weapon restrictions, and these minor changes are enough to force you into adopting different strategies for tackling the arena. Selecting no class mod gives you 4 lives, you start with a sword and can also use guns. The Kensai class gives you 6 lives, but you're only able to use the sword and appear to attack slightly faster with it. The Gunner mod gives you 3 lives and you don't get a sword, but you do start with a gun and weapons are fully automatic, so you can just hold the ZR button to fire continuously. The Warlock mod starts you with only 2 lives, but you also begin with one of the more powerful guns. And finally, the Catalyst begins with 3 lives, but also only requires 55 kills to activate the Brain Clap special ability. On all other characters, Brain Clap activates after 60 kills, and it basically sends out a blast of projectiles from your character, killing enemies that it hits. Now, if for some reason you're finding classic mode too easy, then you can hit Y from the main menu to change to hard boiled mode. Doing this resets your score and rank, and from what I can tell, this mode drastically increases the number of enemies that the game throws at you. If you decide it's too much and bottle it, you can then change back to classic mode by hitting Y, but again this will reset your score and rank. So I've covered Ubermosh Black's mechanics, so I'll quickly provide my own opinions on the game. To begin with, it looks and feels exactly as expected from a Machado game. Gameplay is incredibly fast, visuals are in the usual gritty pixelated style, and the thumping soundtrack fits gameplay nicely. As I expressed in my Ubermosh Omega review, this series of games is an acquired taste and certainly won't be for everyone. And if it's your first time playing, you'll likely find yourself dying every 30 seconds for about 20 minutes solid. I'm not gonna lie, the game's hard as nails, and I still haven't managed to survive a full 90 seconds. But stick with it, and you might just begin to get to grips with gameplay, and eventually manage to achieve this. Now, content wise, you're getting what I've covered in this review and nothing more, but class modifiers provide enough gameplay variety to keep you playing for a while, and the game features that just one more try addictiveness that has become synonymous with Machado's games. So now we come to rating the game. Now I rate games between 1 and 5 stars, with a shovelware stamp of approval reserved for the worst games on the eShop. This rating is based on my own personal opinion on what a game has to offer in terms of gameplay and value for money to potential buyers. And for a rating I'd give Ubermosh Black 3 out of 5 stars. Gameplay is very similar, but also much simpler than Ubermosh Omega, and it's worth a play if not only to say that you've played an Ubermosh game. Fans of the series will likely be very happy to see this instalment hit the Switch, and new players who take the plunge might just find what they've been looking for in its frantic hardcore gameplay. You can get the game from the UK Switch eStore, currently with 50% off, for 89p. Unfortunately, it doesn't yet appear to be available on the US eStore, but hopefully will be soon. Alternatively, the game is also available on Steam. And that's it for this review of Ubermosh Black. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for future Switch indie game reviews, and drop into the Starseekers Discord to say hello. For now though, I just want to say thanks once again for watching, and until next time, game on.